Level 78, The Ladder. Alphanaud's eyes glisten with joy. Ladder is situated to the north and west of Right. Let us make our way there, Zilly. Probably be better teleporting to Right. Ladder. Mountain. Like, second area in Girabon. Like, you do the top section first, and then you come back and you do. Like, they're different elevations. Zilly, dost thou see yonder pair of Talos? For blessing, they were found to be in good repair. Master Chai prepareth to activate them as we speak. With our arcane knowledge, Ishtola and I will serve as his assistants. It said assassins at first. At the appointed hour, we shall imbue the golems with ether. Others, meanwhile, attend to the ladder itself, which hath too long lain neglected. Extensive maintenance will be needed ere it can move again, as well as myriad materials with which to perform it. Thou art willing, we would prevail upon thee to procure lumber. My thanks. Directly to the south thou wilt find a dry dock, Vinmont Yards. Pray see if thou can't persuade the folk there to part with some lumber for our cause. Gotta bring the wood. Yeah, it should be alright. Oh, there, sinner. Haven't seen you around before. New to Gate Town, I take it? If you need lumber for a shack, you've come to the right place. We can do the building for you, too, though that'll cost extra. You want lumber to restore the ladder? Why in the world would anyone want to do that? If you don't have the coin, least you could do is come up with a believable excuse. But look, I'm not one to turn folk away. I'll give you your lumber if you do me a favor in return. I just finished taking stock of our supply and was about to do another round for good measure. I want you to do the counting instead, and we'll see if your total matches mine. Now, some of the lumber's lying about the yard, but most of it is kept in the storehouse. For these, you can just ask Grithel for the number. Here, I'll lend you some writing material so you can take notes. Take stock of the supply of lumber at the shipyard. What you learn can be reviewed in your key items. Count 11 planks in the stack. There's the wood. Count 24 planks in the stack. Pallets. Definitely missing. Glaringly obvious. Am I just like... See the third one? Breathe and talk. Yeah, taking stock for Irvith, are you? Oh, last I counted, we had 68 planks in the storehouse here. 9 of those were rotted through, though, so we tossed them out. Boy, Grithel, another load's just arrived. 13 planks all told, but one's damaged. It's only good for kindling now. Right then, bring the good ones here and be sure to let Irvith know as well. How many planks does that make now? Yeah, you're writing down those numbers anyway, right? I'm sure you can work it out. Told me there'd be math involved. Jot down the details of the conversation. 11 in stack, 4 in stack, 68 in storehouse, 9 discarded. Okay. Okay. Done, are you? So how many planks did you count? Hi, that's exactly what I counted. Thanks for your help, friend. Taking stock fair puts me to sleep, but it has to be done. As promised, I'll give you your lumber. What do you need it for, anyways? You were serious about the ladder? I'll be damned. That's the case. Please let us help with the work. We're shipwrights with no ships to build, only shacks. While it's a living, we all itch to do something greater. The fellow you say is in charge. You reckon he'd mind the likes of us barging in on his project? He won't mind. He'd welcome the help. Probably. Wonderful. I'll round up the lads and lasses and we'll head over to the ladder along with all the lumber you need. Mighty fine of you, sir. Bring in the wood. Ah, thou art returned. Wert thou able to procure the lumber? Well, well, to secure not only the material, but the eager cooperation of the shipwrights besides, their expertise shall greatly avail our efforts. Master Shai's own efforts have not been without struggle, but he hath proven himself to be a determined soul. I doubt not but that the work shall be completed ere long, and we may continue on with our way once more. Though it hath been years in the making, at long last do the people stand united in defiance of the world's fate, their hopes spurring us ever onward towards journey's end. Whatsoever may await us when thou takest those final steps, I pray that it shall be with a smile upon thy face. 78. The Ladder. 78. The View from Above. Brianger is wearing a pensive look. Ah, but preternaturally do I give myself to sentimental musings. Many more pressing concerns demand our attention, not the least of which is the matter of how we might reach the mountain, detached from the land as it is. The present 'twould appear we have matters here well in hand. Perhaps thou shouldst take thine ease for a time. Thou wilt need every ounce of thy strength for the trials ahead. Hop a squat. Your knee.
Would you look at that? The citizens of Yulmore engaging in what can only be described as manual labor. Who would have thought it possible? Do you know the most reliable way to deal with those who stubbornly refuse to see reason? You conquer them. Crush them under heel. Such was the trusted method of Alec, and one still favored by Garlemald. But conquest is the easy part. The true challenge begins once the dust has settled, quenching the glowing embers of animosity and maintaining a semblance of peace. This requires the conqueror to treat the conquered with dignity, and the conquered to let bygones be bygones, a difficult feat to achieve. But you have achieved just that, to my considerable surprise. It's a compliment. Take it.
Such a nice.
Ah, the vibrant energy that fills the air when like-minded souls gather. To think back on that time before time, fair brings a tear to the eye. What? You thought ancient beings like us incapable of crying? Well, rest assured that if your heart can be broken, then so can mine. Back when the world was whole, we had family, friends, loves. Men knew peace and contentment, and with our adamant souls, we could live for an age. There was no conflict born of want or disparity. Our differences paled into insignificance next to all we had in common. And then there was Amarok. Never was a city more magnificent. From the humblest streets to the highest spires, she fairly gleamed. Not that you would remember any of this.
The story going anywhere.
Never mind. The point is, the world of old was a far better place than what we have now. I believe you would like it, having witnessed the things you have. Remember, you are of the Source. Unlike the half-men here, you stand only to gain. Should you survive the remaining calamities, you will become our equal, a complete existence in a complete world. But such talk is a pleasure for later. Back to work, hero. Ah, there was one thing I had meant to ask. How well do you know the Exarch? Has he ever deigned to show you what hides beneath the cowl? What? Never? Even to you? How very interesting. I shall enjoy working out what it means. Until next time.
I never doubted you for a moment.
Robots. We have robots.
It's alive. I don't know if you remember, but when we first met in this world, I was all but spent. I never thought to wonder why until now. I think it all just got to be too much. The guilt of causing the flood. Knowing everyone hated me. But the worst thing was the solitude. Time wears you down, aye. Solitude eats away at you. It was this close to finishing me off. But as bad as it got, and as empty as I felt, I can't even begin to imagine what it must be like for Emmett Selk. All of which is a long way of saying, don't make a choice that leaves you alone. Nothing is worth that. Especially not eternity.
Glad tidings, my friend. The ladder lives again.
Yay.
The three of us have been invited to do the honors. Are you up for it? Of course, if you're worried that the whole thing might come crashing down, we can always find someone else. That's the spirit. Come on, then.
We rode the ladder too, my comrades and I. Once upon a time. Watched the horizon grow, and the town shrink below us. Awed and terrified in equal measure, we ascended without a word, the silence broken only by the rhythm of the gears.
Yeah, come on, Ardbert.
No one but me remembers that day. Remembers our journey and our end. Retread the path, Seek, and you may yet find.
Here we finally are at top rung. The others should arrive ere long. Alphanod, Zilly, come up here. There's something I need you to see. What could this be about? Bar? Looked over. Didn't see past that. There's a village, Zilly, over to the northeast. There is. Yet after 2 decades without the ladder in operation, I would not be surprised if such an isolated settlement had long since been abandoned. Nor I, but that was before I spied someone leave it and proceed to head in our direction, all the while trying to remain unseen. Whoever this mysterious person is, they should still be out there. Go on and take a look. I mean, how would they get down? Ladder was broken. Search your surroundings for the mysterious person. You may move the camera as well as zoom in and out. Target the figure and inspect them with right trigger A. See them at all. Far. Thought they'd be further up. I don't know. You have located the mysterious person. However, it seems he has likewise spotted you and hurriedly turns back to the village. Just thought they would be further back. There's someone, right? And they were spying on us. Personally, I don't feel comfortable not knowing who they are. What do you say we investigate? I'm curious too, I must admit, and I dare say we have a bit of time ere the others ascend. Settle then, let's head to the village and see if it's indeed inhabited. Hey. Etherite. But I'm not, I'm just going to Bye. Food has been hung out to dry in the sun, and quite recently by your reckoning. You hear faint sounds from inside the building, however the door refuses to budge. Last one. Be in one of these. Here. Cups are half empty or half full, depending on how you see such things. Behind the counter, a kettle bubbles steadily over the stove. What news? Were you able to find anything of note? People are definitely still living here. Couldn't find our mysterious person. Maybe this place really is abandoned. People are definitely still living here. Persons. Indeed, while there's no one to be seen, 'tis plain that this village is anything but abandoned. The villagers are trying to conceal themselves. They are doing a rather poor job of it, but if they don't wish to be seen, what are we to do? I say, aren't you the ones who saved my life? Dear Tristel, the artist from Yulmore. You remembered, ever since we parted ways, I've worried for you, bound for the city as you were. Never did I imagine that we would meet again, and here of all places. We could say the very same to you, my friend. I'm glad to see you hale and whole, but tell me, what is this village? This is Amity, a settlement made up of those who survived being exiled from Yulmore. As I wandered the wilds, I chanced to cross paths with an inhabitant of these parts. He took me through a secret tunnel which led to the top of Bright Cliff. I've been here ever since. Life is hard, but we know a semblance of peace. Well, we did at any rate, until Mount Gulg broke away from the earth. Then just as suddenly, the ladder started moving again. You feared whoever was coming up would threaten your lives? Aye, but I see now there's no cause for concern. Will you tell me what has brought you here? Valtteri is a sin-eater, and he's fled to Mount Glug. It's a strange tale, but I have no reason to doubt your words. I owe you my life. If there is anything I can do to help, you need but say the word. Your help would be most welcome, Tristel. To begin with, we request your people's permission to reconnoiter the area. If we are to confront Valtteri, we must find a way to reach Mount Gulg. Of course, you hardly need our permission to be here. I will tell the others about you and yours. Now, we haven't much to offer in the way of hospitality, but our village is at your disposal. Please use it as you see fit in your quest. 78, the view from above, complete. 78. In Mount Golg's shadow, Alizé is eager to get on with the task. Yet another hapless soul that Alphinaud saved from mortal danger. I see, some things never change. At any rate, it seems that brother has a mind to linger. Meanwhile, I have a mind for us to explore. Celia and I are going to scout out the area. We'll be back in a while. Oh, very well then. Just take care out there. We'll probably end up heading toward that ether, right? Just makes sense. Path diverges. Let's split up so we can cover more ground. I'll go east if you would be so kind as to head west. We can aim to meet at the foot of the mountain, taking note of what we see along the way in a short while then. Your love. Alright. Area.
You're a sight for sore eyes. I don't know about you, but I bumped into quite a few sin eaters out there. You too, then. It seems the closer we get to Mount Gulg, the more of them there are. Looks a lot bigger from here, doesn't it? If I were Vorthri, the first thing I'd do is surround myself with as many sin eaters as I could lay my hands on. And judging by the number we've already faced, his lordship is of the same mind. This is going to be a tough climb. But first things first. We need to determine if climbing is even an option. The more I look, the less likely it seems. Y'shtola is right to be worried. But flying may be our only choice after all.
There you are. Master Alphino was afeard you had met with some misfortune.
Urianger. And you too, Exarch. What brings you here?
I wish to observe the final struggle with my own eyes. I arrived at bottom rung too late to accompany you, but I was in time to join Urianger and the others. Come, let us see how this unfolds.
Well, it seems flying is off the table.
If we have learned that much, then the Machina have served their purpose.
Ah, so that's what they were for. Wasteful, but effective.
It would seem our foe will not be reached by land or air. We must needs withdraw to consider another course. Master Alphino waiteth for us atop rung. Thither should we make our way.
There's an etherite, like, right there. I go attuned to this. Feeling we're gonna end up coming here anyways, but we can get to it. Okay, so getting to it might be more difficult. Okay, maybe not. I'm most certainly going to come here. There's an etherite. Whee! I didn't expect to see the Chais here, though I suppose it's well within their rights. At any rate, it's time to tackle our next little obstacle, finding a way to reach Mount Golg. This we'll need to put all our heads together. 78, Mount Golg Shadow. Level 78, a gigantic undertaking. Alizé would share the findings of your scouting mission with everyone.
In short, there's no path, and the sky is thick with Vorthri's winged devils.
We might consider Amaro. But without extensive training, we cannot hope to contend with the Eaters. Yulmor's airship fleet, meanwhile, consists solely of transport vessels ill-suited for battle. And without the expertise of one such as Cid, we are in no position to attempt a refit.
Oh, it's so frustrating! That wretched mountain should jolly well come back down to us!
She might actually be onto something there.
Now, dearest, we mustn't disturb these good people at their work. We've ridden the ladder and seen the sights. It's past time we took our leave.
The lady may well have the right of it. Mount Golg will not soon come down to Earth, nor can we compel it to do so. But if the mountain will not come to the land, mayhap the land may be made to come to the mountain. In the form of a Talos. A Talos large enough to reach out and take the volcano in its grasp.
To build such a golem would be an onerous undertaking indeed. Yet the principle seemeth sound in itself.
Boulder Dash! No one has ever made one even half that size. Leaving aside the small matter of logistics, which, by the way, would be no small matter, the design would be unimaginably complex. Though, I suppose, if its only function is to cling to the ruddy mountain, perhaps it needn't be. A solid base, firmly rooted to the ground, sacrifice mobility to simplify the construction, reducing materials required. Wait, what am I thinking? We would still need a veritable army of people to do the work. Left to the crew that helped down below, it would take decades, if not a nice round century.
So we need more hands. And what sort of things would these hands be required to do?
Let's see. First, we'd need people to procure the stone for the chassis. The rock found near the mountain would suit our purposes well enough. It'd be a simple task to quarry the stuff, but given the stupendous quantity required, we'd need all the help we can get.
We have friends amongst the miners of Armoring. I will go and petition their aid.
While you do that, I'll make for Mordsuk. I'm sure I'll be able to drum up some support.
Then I shall return to Calusia. From fishers to carpenters, Yulmor is home to all manner of talented folk. I dare say their skills will avail us.
Is there anything else you need?
Well, yes, actually. Magic. Lots of the stuff, as much as possible. To awaken a Talus of this size would require an entire congregation of mages.
Many among the Knights Blessed are gifted in the arcane arts. I will recruit them to our cause.
I have all that light warden magic stuff. You're right.
The Fey folk, too, possess surpassing aptitude in magics. Yet they are not wont to cooperate in the endeavors of men. Leastwise, not without making all manner of mischief. That being the case, I would instead call upon the people of the Crystarium, with thy permission, Exarch.
We are at your disposal, as are our Amaro and Chocobos.
I'm sorry. You mean to tell me you can call on not only the people of Yulmore and the Crystarium, but the Knights Blessed and the Maud, and even those miners? But that's just about everyone in Ballynorvrand. Who are you people? And how did you come to have so many friends?
Those lovely paintings of Alphinaud. Saviors of the world, adventurers of no import. Or does Alphinaud and his assistants?
Oh, dearest, have you forgotten already? Alfino told us that when we first met.
Actually, that may not have been... never mind.
So, as you can see, you will not want for bodies. I trust you will have your design ready in good time for their arrival. Norvrant is counting on you, heir to Daedalus Stoneworks.
We'll be back as soon as we can, and we'll bring the whole world with us.
I take it we will be assisting Master Chai, though I am quite sure he has everything under control.
Have the design ready, she says. In good time, she says. Does she even understand what's involved? Before I can even attempt to design anything, I need intimate knowledge of the land, the knowledge of locals. Last I heard, no one lives here. What? A village of Yulmore exiles? But those people have every reason to loathe a free citizen like me. They couldn't possibly be willing to cooperate. This will never work. Never. I never should have fixed that ruddy lift. Never should have ridden it up here. Never should have. Never should have. Oh dear, Darling appears to have lost the plot. But he has it in him, Zilly. He's the cleverest man I know. He just wants for confidence sometimes. If you were to give him some words of encouragement, I'm sure he can give you your Talos. Bit of advice I learned from his mother. He responds poorly to obvious praise. You need to find another way to stoke the fires of his motivation. Waken his sense of daring. Use words that will best encourage Chai News. In order to succeed, you must lift his spirit sufficiently during the conversation. Playing a dating sim now? Kindness is plagued with self-doubt. I can't do it. No one can. A Talos of that size, no one's even dreamed of it. Alphinaud once struggled to collect firewood. Julia is counting on you as well. You're a genius. You can do this. Daring. I know. You hardly need to tell me that. Do you think I'd disappoint her if I could help it? Plagued with self-doubt. Regardless of my own feelings, I can't do a damn thing without help from those villagers, and they're not likely to give it. Crystal's among them, you said so yourself. Lest you've forgotten, we essentially sent him to his death. Even if the others don't bear a personal grudge, he would never forgive us. You don't know until you apologize. I'll come with you. Don't worry, he'll forgive you for sure. Things won't improve by themselves. You have to take the first step. I know, unless we take the first step, there can never be reconciliation. This is a chance for everyone to come together. Even if they hurled stones at me, perhaps it's worth trying to apologize. I know harbors some misgivings. But what then? In the end, it's not even a question of forgiveness. Building such an enormous Talos is impossible, and no amount of contrition will change that. And even if by some miracle the people of Amity were willing to let bygones be bygones, they think that the plan is absurd. I think it's absurd. Less absurd than the change that's come to Yulmore. We liberated a castle with a strategy that many would call absurd. Everything you touch turns to gold. No one would doubt your plan. Less absurd than the change that's come to Yulmore. Well, I can't argue with that logic. Enormous as the task is, it's simply a matter of finding a solution to a practical problem. From that perspective, it's not entirely unrealistic. God knows it still harbors some misgivings. But realistic or no, there's no guarantee of success. There are risks to consider should the venture fail. I imagine for a moment that we fail to reach Vol 3 and only succeed in provoking him. In his fury, he may well unleash his hordes of eaters and we'll meet a horrible end. We'll go together. I'll protect you, I'll protect everyone. We could build Talos for battle. I've thought of that, I assure you, but I'm afraid Talos cannot contend with Sin Eaters. If they could, I would never have come to Yulmore. Nonetheless, I appreciate your earnest attempt to find a solution. I know it's feeling somewhat optimistic. Makes me wonder, what is it that drives you? Tell me, why did you throw yourself into the midst of such a grueling struggle? Protect those I love, because I live for adventure. I got roped into it. Adventure, such a strange word coming from my lips. I used to have a sense of adventure too, strove to challenge myself. Whenever did I lose it? I know it's burning with motivation. Be complete, okay. I don't know if that can be done faster, or if I did that well or not, but it finished it, so. Yes, by the gods, I can do this. I just need to have a little faith in myself. Right, let's head to Amity and speak with the villagers, with Tristal. My love, things are liable to become more dangerous. I want you to wait for me back in Yulmore. No, wherever you go, I'm going too. Besides, you're not the only one who has to apologize. But there's no telling what may happen out here. I don't know if I can keep you safe. Perhaps this is a bad idea after all. I don't think I have what it takes. Master Chai, that you are beset with doubt is proof that you can envision the task ahead. That which man can envision, he can make reality. Thus did some old friends of mine once say. Even should it be a feat fit for the divine, it's something has been done before, then it most assuredly can be done again by our own hands. That's a little idealistic, don't you think? Perhaps, Master Chai, perhaps, but what is a man if not idealistic creature? It's not an easy thing to achieve one's dreams, and my friends can attest to that. Countless times did they meet with frustration in the course of their endeavors. None would have found fault with them had they given up, yet they never did. One step after the next, they forged on towards their goals. With their determination, they accomplished numerous feats that many believed lay beyond the reach of mankind. Like them, you are a man of science. Amidst your doubts, surely there is a spark of desire, the desire to make the impossible possible. Come, darling, like the old days. I would be the first to see your Talos. And now. You shall be, my dear. I would have none other at my side when my greatest masterpiece awakens. Right then, to Amity. I'm glad my words struck a chord, shall we? Amity. B. Walmart. You have every right to be angry with us, but please listen to what I have to say. I am tasked with delivering these people to Mount Gulg by means of a Talos of heretofore unseen proportions. However, I cannot do this without the cooperation of those with intimate knowledge of this land, that is, you and your fellow villagers. Cooperation? After you ignored my desperate pleas and cast me out, you have the gall to come here and ask for my cooperation? You've every right to be upset. Valtry's not the one to blame for your suffering, we are. We were free citizens without a care in the world, indifferent to the hardship of others. We didn't know what would become of you, and frankly, we didn't care. But we know now that what we did to you, to full many, was wrong, terribly wrong. No words will suffice to make amends, but I want you to know that we are deeply sorry. I'm not sure how I feel. Do I forgive you, hate you? Perhaps it's not even my place to judge. After all, I sought a place in your city. I wanted to be you once. But one thing is clear to me. All of that is in the past, and we mustn't let the past wrong stand in the way of a brighter future. So I will cooperate with you. Please see our friends to Mount Gulg. You have my word. My axe. I'll set to work on a design at once. Wouldn't do to have nothing to show the others when they return with help. Make no mistake, this venture is unprecedented in the history of Talos building, nay, the history of all mankind, but rest assured this genius of Daedalus Stoneworks will deliver. Gigantic undertaking, level 78 complete. Ah, wicked white. Is there a problem? Well, you see, I've been promised people to procure the stone as well as imbue magic. When I was put on the spot earlier, I thought that was all we required. I forgot about one rather important item needed to bring a Talos to life. Oh, it needs a heart, right? Leonine or whatever. A heart. That's right, the heart. I'm pleased to see you have some familiarity with the Talos. So while I work on the design, I'd be much obliged if you could see to procuring the ore with which to fashion a heart. Heart suitable of bringing to life a Talos that shall embrace the very firmament. Probably going to need a fairly large one, huh?